Yeah, hi Tim. Good evening. Good morning. Yeah, today we will see promoting Accelerator database mission. So, promoting Accelerator database mission, as I already told you, it has three steps. First, we need to deploy the agent deployment. So, this agent deployment, where we need to do and who will do that. I will come to this again. And this is the first step. And second step is we need to install Exadata plugin. And third step is promote database mission. So these three steps. So can somebody tell me who will install the agent and where we need to install? So we need to install agent in the database servers or compute nodes. Both are same. These DB servers or compute nodes are in your Exadata box in this middle box. Let me take annotation. Spotlight. In this, Exadata box, you have database servers. This section is database server section. Okay, above and below switches. So here in the database servers DB node 1 and DB node 2, you need to push agent from this OEM 13C. This from OEM 13C, you need to push agent the first database node, and likewise you need to push the agent from OMS to the second database node in the Exadata database mission. So you injected, this is the OEM server, OMS server. Okay. So from Oracle management server, you pushed agents into the database server one, and second agent you pushed that into second DB server in the Exadata. So that is, agent deployment. That is called agent deployment. Once the agent is deployed, then is it enough to promote this Exadata database mission in the in OEM? No, this is not just a normal, commodity server. Like commodity server means it's not like Dell server or HP server. Let us say forget about Exadata. There is no Exadata. This is not an Exadata box. Okay. This is just a normal Dell server. Imagine in the Dell server, you pushed OEM agent in the DB server. DB server is your Dell server. In the Dell server, you pushed OEM agent. Then how to go further? You no need to install this Exadata plugin, and you no need to promote Exadata database mission. These two steps, additional steps in Exadata. So then to monitor in the Dell, to monitor the databases in the Dell server, what you need to do? You need to start promoting cluster. Okay, promote the cluster, then promote ASM, promote databases like that. That's a sequence actually, right? So you can directly start promoting cluster in order to monitor the database in the Dell server. But here, this is Exadata box. In order to listen carefully, I'm coming again. Even listen carefully. Be with me, team. This sentence is very, very important. Now, what I'm telling, this sentence is very, very important. Listen carefully. Your agents are ready in two database servers now. Means, how does it look like in OMS? Okay, let me take you there. It will look like this. It will look like this. Login agent promote. Yeah. So if there is no Exadata promoted, but only agents pushed into database servers, means hosts, then you will see like this. If you see here, if you see here, you will see only three servers. If you could observe this timestamp, If you could observe, see, you need to be very careful when observing, because I can't zoom more than this because these are the screenshots. When I promoted this, carefully observe everything. This class is very, very important. Okay. When I promoted this in 2019, September 4th, 2019, I, afresh, I created this OMS server, and afresh, I am, promoting everything into this new OMS. It was started in 2019, September 4th. That time, this is a rarely happens to a DBA that first only two, three servers only I can able to see from OMS. This is a OMS console. This is a OMS console. In the OMS console, how many servers I am able to see? Only three. What are the three? First one is OMS server itself. This is the OMS server itself. Third one. Okay. And first one is database server 1. Second one is database server 2. Means these two DB servers are existing in Exadata. But in order to promote the Exadata, listen carefully. In order to promote the Exadata, first we need to push the agents from this OMS server into first DB node and second DB node. That is the first step. We need to install agents, or we need to push the agents, or we need to inject the agents from where to where? From OMS server to the first node, and from OMS server to the second node. We already injected agents. That's why we are able to see these two hosts here. So you're injecting agent for the first time means, yes, you are promoting host actually. You are promoting host actually. Host means DB server actually. So here, what are the three components I'm seeing? Now there are three agents now. In the OMS server, there is an agent also installed that has kept this entry here. In first DB server, agent is installed that has kept this route entry here, and third agent kept this. So you have three servers. So far, three hosts are promoted. OMS host itself is the first one, first DB server, and second DB server. Now listen carefully. When the DB host is ready, you no need to monitor Exadata actually. Take You no need to monitor Exadata hardware components. You just have to monitor cluster and cluster ASM and databases. Then what you need to do? Just right away in this DB node, you can promote cluster ASM, cluster first, and then cluster ASM, and then databases. Then you will see the databases also. You will see the databases also. You no need, to promote Exadata. I am segregating very wisely. See, you no need to promote Exadata. If you compromise, if you don't want Exadata monitoring, if you want only the databases in the Exadata, I mean in the compute nodes, then after this, just directly go and promote cluster ASM and databases. That's it. In the discovery, go ahead and just promote cluster ASM. First cluster you have to promote, and then cluster ASM, and then databases you can able to. So this is a flow actually. This is a sequence. But here not only the database hosts, you have to monitor Exadata also. Means you have to monitor Exadata hardware components also. What are the Exadata hardware components? Anyone can tell me? In earlier classes, I was telling you Exadata. There are five important Exadata components. One is DB servers. These two are DB servers. Already they are being monitored, if you could see, because three hosts are promoted so far. Okay. And after DB servers, cell server is the second component, and remaining three components are switches. What are the switches? InfiniBand or Rocky switch is third component. Fourth component is Ethernet switch, and fifth component is PDU. Can anyone tell me more than this? 5 components. Are there any other components? No. In Exadata, only these 5 components and cables. And that external rack you can see, that frame. That's it. You will not see anything else than this. Am I right? So, in order to monitor only compute nodes and the databases in the compute nodes, do you really require Exadata plugin and to promote the mission? Answer is no. Answer is no. Listen carefully. Here only your expertise will come. Okay. So sometimes see how many databases. This is one more beautiful thing. How many databases so far I promoted? Only one database, guys. This database is only this only one database. So far, only one database, that is YMS repository database. That is the database name is Grid13C. I kept that time, has been promoted and monitored by central agent on this host. Who is the central agent? Central agent is the agent on YMS server itself. You got it? Central agent. This central agent. What is the central agent? The third one in the above screen. If you see the above screen, this is the central agent. Okay. This is the central agent. This is monitoring itself. Host. This is a host actually. This is a host. See the CPU and memory and total IO means it's the host monitoring. And of course, it is monitoring its own database. It's monitoring its own Grid13C database. Likewise, likewise, you can go ahead and promote database targets in the hosts. You no need Exadata now. You no need Exadata hardware components now. Already you're out of 5 Exadata hardware components. Already you have compute nodes promoted because already you have injected agent. Okay. But now your intention is to promote Exadata mission itself. Means you need to see the cell servers, how they are up or down, and you need to see Ethernet switch. You need to see the PDUs, right? So remaining, you need to see the InfiniBand switch or Rocky switch. Remaining 4 hardware components you need to look after. So that what you need to do? Yes, you need to install Exadata plugin. You need to install Exadata plugin. This is the second thing. You need to plug in Exadata plugin and then you need to promote the DB mission. But from first step onwards, can't you keep the Exadata promotion and can't you monitor only databases? Yes, you can. You no need to promote Exadata if you don't want hardware monitoring. Why I am telling this? I am just clearly, wisely segregating what you will do in sorry, what you will do in non-Exadata and what you will do in Exadata. In non-Exadata, in Dell server, push the agents from OMS and then start promoting cluster and start promoting cluster ASM, start promoting databases. Game over. But here extra 2 steps you're going is Exadata plugin you're installing and then you're promoting Exadata database mission. Only after this step, only you will start cluster promoting. Okay. Why we need to do cluster promoting? Cluster is up or down, you have to see, right? And if you do not promote cluster or cluster ASM, you cannot promote databases, right? So I think you might have done all this in your office. Okay. So that 2 steps, cluster promotion, you can do without these 2 steps also. That is what I'm telling. But what you are missing, you are monitoring the you are missing the monitoring of remaining 4 hardware components in this our favorite Exadata box. Okay. So if you want to cover this guy, remaining 4 hardware components of this Exadata beautiful box, then what you have to do? You have to install Exadata plugin in the DB servers. Then this Exadata plugin, it can get hold of remaining 4 hardware components. You no need to install agents in a cell server That is not at all the concept. Somebody may think like this also. Who will monitor the remaining four hardware components because the agents are only in DB servers. The agents installed or the agents pushed in DB servers, they have this Exadata plugin, so they will look after, they will monitor remaining four hardware components. What are the four hardware components in Exadata? Since day one, my favorite statement is this one. Exadata is nothing but only five components. DB servers, then cell servers, then InfiniBand and Rocky, and Cisco switch, and PDU. And now you are good. DB servers, you install agent, yes, agent can take care of everything, databases, everything. But who will look after cell servers? Who will look after InfiniBand or Rocky? Who will monitor PDU? Who will monitor Ethernet? That's you need to install plugin, Exadata plugin, and you need to promote the DB mission as a whole. You need to promote the DB mission as a whole. Now, guys, you understood where you are now exactly, what we are doing, how we are differing from regular promotion. Okay, these two steps are the additional steps in accelerator. Remaining all steps are same. The first step is same as your regular normal common non-Exadata missions. Now, let me go to this plugin installation. Yesterday, this plugin installation has been completed, right? Today, let us see how to promote Exadata database mission. Now, guys, tell me, what do you mean by promoting Exadata database mission? Just, we have to look after five components. We have to look after five components. That is DB, compute nodes, cells, and remaining three switches. Three switches are InfiniBand or Rocky 1, number 2, Ethernet, number 3, PDU. These five. If you get hold of these five components monitoring, that's it. Exadata is being monitored from your OEM server, right? Now, let's go and see how to promote the mission, right? So, to promote the accelerated DB mission, plugin also completed. Now we have to promote the accelerated DB mission. To promote the accelerated database mission, to promote the accelerated database mission, what you have to do, what prerequisites you need. This is a very, very important table. You need to have this handy before promoting accelerated database mission. Okay. So you need to, this is the component and username and password you need and SNMP users. Okay, I have given you the defaults. These are common in any company. These are not company dependent, except the first one, agent. Agent means in the DB servers, you will create the user grid agent 13C. Like user add, you will create this grid agent 13C. If you could remember, in the first agent deployment lesson, I have shown you this user add grid agent 13C. Okay, so Exadata promote. I think I have that lesson also, but I don't want to go there. See, create user grid agent 13C. This is the operating system user on the database servers. So you have the password already set up, right? So I set the password also. See? Password reset. This password you need to handy. What is that password? Here you can see being plus dollar $will. So this agent is the agent on the DB server. You can put like this agent on DB nodes or compute nodes. DB node or compute node, both same. Okay. So username grid13c and password you need to know, and there is no SNMP user for DB nodes. Okay. And InfiniBand discovery. For InfiniBand, you need two credentials, this one and this one. For discovery, there is a default username and password, that is nm2 user and change me. This is a default across all companies on the planet. And storage servers are root, that is welcome one, this is also default one. And compute nodes ilom, this is a welcome one and root. And ethernet switches, this is a Cisco switch admin and welcome one. And PDU admin and welcome one. Wherever you see Ethernet, Cisco means it's the admin. You remember like that. If the switch is provided by Cisco Corporation, the super user is admin, ADMIN. Even if you see the latest Rocky switches, that Rocky switches are from Cisco Corporation. So they have the super user admin. Okay. And PDU by default from since day one it is a admin. And password is admin or ADM1N. Instead of I put one. Okay. Either of any one of these two will work. And InfiniBand switch credentials to login, an empty user and change. Same. And SNMP for monitoring this switch components, Ethernet switch, PDU, and InfiniBand, they need additional this SNM to get the SNMP traps. They need SNMP user. This is the admin. This is the admin. This is the NMT user. Okay. So this table you need to keep it handy before promoting Exadata DB machine. Okay. Then what is the prerequisite? Prerequisite is check that Exadata plugin is installed or not on agent side. Why you need Exadata plugin? To monitor all other hardware components from DB server. Okay. So what are the Exadata components? One is the SI system infrastructure and XCA. See, this XCA is the Exadata. Yesterday I told you this XCA is Exadata plugin. Okay. In first node it is there, and in second node also XCA must be there. So Exadata, if the XCA is installed, then Exadata is we can say Exadata plugin is there. One is agent plugin, other one is a discovery plugin. Okay. So XCA plugins, I mean Exadata plugins are already installed on the DB node. So this test has been passed. Now promoting DB mission. Be with me guys. Listen carefully. See, one good thing happened is this is a fresh server as I told you. I mean OMS itself is a fresh. See today if you are if you have procured Exadata DB mission, DB mission means entire mission. Okay, DB node means only database node. These differences initially I told you. Database mission means it's the entire mission which consisting of 5 hardware components. But a DB node means it's only one node. Okay, yeah. Now good thing is OMS itself is very fresh. I mean, nothing is there in the OMS now because it's a freshly built one. I requested a new VM from Linux team and I started afresh OMS. So you can see the Exadata and all DB servers host afresh. So if you see here, see any other Exadata missions are there in your company now. How do you see that? Go to targets and take the drop down list. Here there is no Exadata. Here you can see in the drop down list like hosts, you will see the Exadata link here. Okay. There is no Exadata link means there is no Exadata. Observe here, there is no Exadata target added as there is no Exadata DB mission promoted yet. Because just before I created OMS server, I never promoted any Exadata. Okay. I have to promote all my existing Exadata boxes now because it's a freshly. But how they are being monitored until today? They are being monitored by my old 12C OMS server. Already 12C OMS server is there aside, okay, which is running with a lower version of patch sets, lower version of operating system. Once I promote everything in this new OEM, I decommed it. Okay. So in this, it's a fresh OMS. In fresh OMS, there is no Exadata target. Now we have to get it now. After this class, if you take the drop down list, you will observe Exadata. That is the aim. Okay. So this is one observations I have given. Promote before promoting DB mission. Observation is there is no Exadata under the targets drop down list. Okay. But what you will see under the targets, you will see hosts and databases. See the hosts. How many hosts are there as I told you earlier? There are three hosts. Three hosts are nothing but one is OMS server itself one and two DB nodes. Two DB node because first one Exadata DB mission I want to promote. This is a test DB mission so that I would like to promote. So I already injected agents and I already injected plugin. Now I have to promote the DB mission and see the databases. How many databases so far? Only one database, that is the OMS database. So for only one database, that is OMS repository database, here I have written. So for only one database, that is OMS repository database, that is Grid 13C has been promoted and monitored by central agent on this host. Okay. Yeah. Now come down. So only one database. That's otherwise you will see the load map here. Database load map means there are many databases will come with the square boxes or rectangular boxes based on the load. If the load is very high, that will come extreme left. Least loaded one, extreme right. You might have seen the load map, right? Database load map. Okay. Yeah. Now promote Exadata target. See, how do you promote Exadata target? The same way you promote any other thing, like go to setup, add target, and add targets manually. See here. See, go to setup. Setup is the first thing you need to click, and then add target. When you click add target, it will give one drop down list like this. In this, add targets manually. Add targets manually. Now come down. If you come down after clicking the add targets manually, it will give this add using guided process. Add using guided process. After clicking this, Oracle Exadata database mission, you need to select, there will be many, guided discovery. Out of many guided discovery, you can see Oracle Exadata database mission, Exalogic mission like this. If you want to promote listener or ASM or Oracle database, this guy. Oracle database, this one. Like this, you have many things, right? So our favorite mission is Oracle Exadata database mission now. You click this and click add. Okay. So once you add it, then it will ask you Oracle Exadata database mission discovery. Okay. So you could select this one 13C target types with enhanced hardware monitoring requiring additional credentials and discover targets. It's not a 12C target type. You can put and discover a new DB mission and its hardware components as targets. New DB mission. Okay, DB mission means I already told you it's the entire mission with all hardware components. Yes, computes, cells, switches. Okay, and discover targets. After discover target, see, select OEM agent on first DB node and set credentials. The first journey, it starts from the agent. First, OMS should get hold of the agent running on DB server. Directly, it enters Exadata DB machine means in Exadata database machine, OMS knows whom. In the so far Exadata database machine, entire machine, OMS agent is already deployed where? In DB machine, compute nodes. One agent is already running. Like secret service agent, let us say, okay, I will use this, no problem. I am Pentagon. Okay, I have the secret service agent. Pentagon means OMS. OMS has secret service agent. So Pentagon has secret service agents. Likewise, OMS has OMS agents. So Pentagon, it has deployed its secret service agents in India and in China, okay, and in Russia. These three countries, let us say. So who are these agents from India, China, and Russia? These secret service agents, they will they are pushed by whom? They are pushed by they are deployed by or they are pushed by whom? By Pentagon. Now they landed on India, they landed on China, they landed on Russia. So agents, these secret service agents are working for whom? In fact, they are monitoring India, they are monitoring China. Remove Russia for now. Okay, only two DB nodes. First DB node, second DB node. First DB node is India, second DB node is China. These agents, they will monitor, first DB node will monitor India, second DB node will monitor China. And these guys will get all the data and through the metrics and send back to the Pentagon. And send back to the Pentagon. So agents are nothing but they are collectors, and that information they will send to the central repository, that is the OMS. Then OMS from the Pentagon monitors as a DBA. We will see as a Pentagon officer, security officers. We will see like what's happening in India, what's happening in China. Okay, that is a OMS monitor from OMS, and if there is a something down, we will get alert tickets, everything like that. Then we will be alerted. Okay, so agent purpose is that one. So here select OEM agent on first DB node and set credential. Here we are promoting Exadata DB mission means OMS first it should get hold of the agent. Okay, first it should get hold of the agent to prepare agent in India to monitor rest of the world. Let us say all Asian all Asian countries are like Exadata DB mission. Okay, so China and India, these two DB nodes can monitor all remaining Asian countries. Let us say all Asian countries is Exadata. So first whom they will contact, first agent and second agent, then they will prepare these two guys to monitor India and China in addition with rest of the Asia again. Okay. So like the rest of the Asia means three components, say four components, cells, switches. Okay. Additional responsibility on the secret service agent. That's what I'm telling. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So now first we need to set the credentials of this, you know, agent. So select the agent first. Agent URL. Agent has some URL, some secret code, right? So that agent already there in the DB node. So just click this discovery search button and add. Then you will be suggested by three agents here. OMS already registered three agents. It knows. When you click this, it will show you, hey DBA, there are three agents already available. Select one. Okay. If there are 10 agents, it will show 10 agents. Let me see, the recording is going on, right? Yeah, going on. So if there are 10 agents, it will show 10 agents. You need to select which agent you are interested in, because which DB node or which Exadata DB mission you want to promote. You select that Exadata DB mission only. Okay, here first one agent is fine actually. Second one is a backup. Okay, so select this. I shaded this domain name just for not to disclose the domain name. Yeah. So just three agents are running. One agent is central agent, that is on Pentagon itself, like that is on OMS itself, because even itself has some agent, right, to look after it. So, and remaining two agents are, first agent is India agent, DB server 1, second agent is China agent, DB server 2, and third agent is Pentagon agent itself. OMS agent itself, the masterpiece, master one boss, is the boss actually. Okay, that is running at 3872 port, and agents are running it 1835 port. 1835 is the management port. We call it as a, not management, we call it as a monitoring port. Through the 1835 channel, there is a link happened between Pentagon and India. Through the 1835 port, there is a link happened between Pentagon and India. And there is one more port also, 4905 something, that is the upload port. From India to Pentagon, information upload is through another port. Okay. This 1835 is on DB server, but 4905 upload port is on Pentagon. When that comes, I will tell you. Okay. So in your company also it will be like 1835 or 1832, something like this. Okay, or 3872. This is a 3872 native. Okay, yeah. So you could select this agent on first node to discover the DB mission. You can select any one of the two agents on the DB nodes, but better go with first agent. Both will do the same thing. Okay, so using the China agent, first DB server agent, it will get hold of the entire mission. That is the aim of the OMS now. So it now we are giving use the first agent and select it. Now see, Third, another screen. When you select the agent URL, this agent URL is the agent URL of first node. We have selected this agent to discover. I will share this document to you, and you can zoom and you can study all this, because I spent a lot of time modifying all this and giving the correct information what I was doing at that time. Okay, see, we have selected this agent to discover. Here from the drop down, select all hosts. Here it would give automatically give all credentials as shown in the picture. Test the connection and click OK, then next. See, here select this URL and set credential, because here somebody can observe something. If you are able to, two things you can observe. When you selected the agent, just be with me, guys. It is a simple class, but again very, you need to be with me. You selected first agent. Okay, you selected first agent. This agent operating system user is who in India? I'm in first DB node, grid 13c. It has a username, right? So credentials must be validated, right? So you can do the test connection also. Okay, this is one thing. And other thing is, have you observed this file location? What is this file location? I think it is it visible or not visible? Let me see. OPT/OPT vehicle support tools one command and the schematic file database mission.xml. Okay. Do you remember what is this file when it is generated? Database mission.xml. In part 1 I told you. I don't want to go back to the part 1 lessons now, but in part 1, now even in part 2 I told you. In part 2 only I told you database mission.xml is a one of the configuration files generated by OEDA. Database mission.xml is one of some HTML file and XML file and preconf file and one Excel sheet and one zip file. All these files will be generated using OEDA, right? In that OEDA, you have the configuration files. One of the configuration files is database mission.xml. So you need this database mission.xml to promote the database mission. This is the interview question. And of course, this is my favorite, interview question. If you want to promote the database mission, what file you need? What configuration file you need? The answer is database mission.xml. This is a static file, can be generated multiple times. Under this location, if it is somehow missed, no problem. Anytime you can generate this. Okay. What it will have? See, it will have the details of all hardware components like DB nodes, cell nodes, InfiniBand or Rocky switch details, PDUs and Ethernet switches. It has all IPs and switch names. I just need switch name and IP. Who has that switch name and IP, and who has that server name and IP? Servers are two here, cell server and DB server. Switches are three, Rocky, Rocky or InfiniBand plus PDU plus Cisco Ethernet. So servers and switches. Details means names and IP addresses you can find in database mission.xml. Why database mission.xml is required? It is required to promote the DB mission, because now this agent will get all the details of the switches and servers from this database mission.xml. Actually, you selected the agent in the previous screen, but it automatically identified the location and it find the schematic file also. You never did this, but only agent identified it, because it knows, because in the mission discovery it knows it has to go to this path and it has to identify this database mission.xml. If it is not there, then it will throw error. Okay, so click on the server that this file one command is existing. From this file, agent will identify all the hardware components like compute nodes, storage servers, PDUs and Cisco through the InfiniBand discovery. So through the InfiniBand discovery, it will identify remaining four components. Why I told you InfiniBand discovery, I will tell you. Because this agent from DB node, first it will go through the InfiniBand. From there, it will identify everything. Because if you observe InfiniBand, it has the connection with all switches. It has the connection with all switches. Okay. Yeah. So after this, so these are the stages like see, discovery inputs is the first stage, implement discovery is the second stage. Now we will go to this, and third one is prerequisite checks. Fourth one is components, monitoring agents, credentials, and review, and then submit. Then mission is promoted. Now we are moving to the second step. You are getting what I am teaching. Okay. So far what we did, what are the so far what you learned? So far you learned that we need to select the agent on any one of the DB servers, and that agent will identify the database machine.xml during the promotion of Exadata DB machine. Okay. Yeah. Now go further. Go to next. When you click next, see each page you can click next. If you have this document, it is very easy for you to identify to promote. Okay. Click next, and then see you need to set the credential, grid 13C credential, and put the username and password, and authentication succeeded. Okay. You file location, schematic file, yeah, it is there, but you need to set the credentials also. How to set credentials? You need to click the set credential here. There is a link here, set credential and grid 13C and password, authentication succeeded. Okay. Means your agent, your agent operating on operating system user is authenticated. It can do anything now going forward. Okay. Now InfiniBand discovery. Using InfiniBand discovery, it will identify remaining components. Okay. See, in X8M onwards, there is no InfiniBand. There is Rocky. That time, no need of InfiniBand discovery. Directly, Rocky, it will discover. Rocky switch, it will discover automatically. You no need to have this InfiniBand discovery. Okay, so this has been bypassed in X8M. Directly, you will land in discovering other components. Okay, so this page will be absent in X8M. This page will be absent in X8M. Okay, why means in last class we installed system infrastructure Exadata plugin, right? That has been enhanced to discover all hardware components using Rocky. So in X8M onwards, it is very easy that you will author is the only. You don't have this InfiniBand discovery step. That's it, and remaining all same. Okay. So in the InfiniBand discovery, what you would do? Nothing. You will do only you will give an empty username and password is change me. This is also interview question actually. Some guys they will ask what is the default password of an empty user monitoring credential. What are the default monitoring credentials of InfiniBand switch? They will ask you, have you ever promoted Exadata DB machine? You will tell yes. Then they may ask you, could you please tell me the InfiniBand credentials, discovery credential, NM2 user and change me. Okay. So it should be okay. Then only it will pass through the InfiniBand. Okay. Yeah. And then once InfiniBand discovery is done, then prerequisite check. Okay. When you click next, it will check everything. Like the below ones are just warnings can be ignored. They were fetched from static data from dynamic. See here in prerequisite checks, you have given the database machine.xml file, right? Using that file, it is doing all checks here. What it is doing, you can check here, like using static data. I told you, right? Database mission.xml is a static file. See, in that file, you will see this using static data for Cisco switch as dynamic discovery from zero Cisco switches. Okay, but it will identify later this Cisco switch. It's okay. No, you no need to worry about this. And second one, switch exa03 switch hyphen ADM01 means what is ADM01? ADM01 is a Cisco switch, like your Ethernet switch, was discovered using static data, and a PDU was discovered, PDU B was discovered, and there is some one warning. You can ignore the warning, no problem. This warning it will come in every rack, okay, and some other. So whatever it is there, if they as long as there is no red color, everything is fine. Okay, don't worry about this 064 switches. Already it is identified ADM0. Okay, so if you are ending with warnings, that is fine. Or if you are ending with red color, and then you can raise an SR with Oracle. Whatever is there, just you can have your own analysis. If you are out of your control, then you can raise an SR. So it will give you like this. No critical issues found during discovery prereq checks. You can proceed further. Okay, you can proceed further. So through InfiniBand, it has found all other hardware components using database mission.xml, and all are good. Now you are good to go ahead. This is what this prerequisite check. Okay, the input file is database mission.xml. So what is the use of database mission.xml in one command folder? To promote Exadata DB mission, you may this is a question actually, very good question in interviews. Okay, and next, if you want to monitor all other hardware components, you need to set credentials, right? You need to set credentials of everything. Like in India, your secret service agent is there. I mean, your in first node, your OEM agent is there. That agent, if it has to monitor Delhi, in Delhi there is a forces office, air force office, it has to check. Then to enter Delhi's air force office, it should know the username and password, right? Access control, maybe it is a secret service agent, but it should have a tunnel, right, to connect with the Indian government and access it. So it should have some username and password, something like that. All hardware, it has username and password, we need to set it here, otherwise monitoring is not possible. So what are all components, tell me, what are all components we need to monitor? Exadata itself is nothing but 5 components. I told you, one is compute node servers is one, so can be monitored using by ilom. And storage server, second component. And third component is InfiniBand switch. And fourth component is, come down, fourth component. What is the fourth component? Fourth component is Ethernet switch, and fifth component is PDU. That's it. So compute nodes, cell servers, InfiniBand 3, Ethernet 4, PDU 5. Exadata means these 5 components only, guys. There are no other components. It is not at all a complex theory. Okay, you just have to know where is what. That's it. Okay. So yeah, it is that much easy and it is that much complex. If you know the things well, it is that much easy. Okay, right. If you so now our agent on DB node, it should look after storage cells, InfiniBand, Ethernet, and PDU. So we need all of the credentials of these guys, right? Okay. So how to set them? So components. What are the components? See, database mission monitoring agents. So all these components will be discovered by which agents? There are there are two agents. One is first node. I think see, monitoring agent two, backup monitoring agent is one. Means if two means China, one means India. Let us say monitoring agent. If China should look after the DB mission as a whole, if China agent is not available, then backup monitoring agent like India agent should look after, like that. So secret server agent, if one is not working, second agent should collect the data and send to OMS. Okay. So whom as a mission it will be monitored, right? So target whole mission will be monitored by this second agent. If not, backup monitoring is. So we need to select from the drop down what is the backup monitoring agent. Okay. So if there are 3 nodes or 4 nodes, select one agent here and select any other agent here as a backup. Okay, only 2 agents are fine. And storage servers are being monitored by first storage is 2, backup is 1. Second storage is 1. If you observe here 1 agent on first node, backup is agent on second node. Here third storage cell node is agent on second node. If it is not working, agent on first node. So you need to select monitoring agent and backup monitoring agent for all the targets. What are all the targets? Only 5 components: storage cells, switches, and DB nodes. Okay, only 5 components. Exadata means, again I am telling again and again, Exadata means only 5 components. DB is cells and 3 switches, right? And monitoring agents. And as I already told you, as I already told you, you have Ethernet switch also. InfiniBand switch. Yes, actually, I cannot take a complete screenshot. That's why above I covered until InfiniBand. Below I am covering Ethernet, compute node, and PDU. But all 5 components will have monitoring agent and backup agent simply. Okay. Now come down. Credentials. Without credentials, how it looks like? Without credentials, it will look like this. Okay. Without credentials, it will look like this. Required credential required not set. Credential required not set. It is crying. Please set the credentials required, because if the agent has to monitor PDU, PDU credentials must be given here. Otherwise, agent cannot attack PDU and monitor and get the metrics. Metrics means how much current PDU is taking, how much volts PDU is taking, how much volt amperes PDU is taking. Volt amperes means power. Okay. And the same way, compute node will be monitored by ILOM. We need the ILOM's credentials here. Root and welcome one only we have to give here. Cell servers also root and welcome one. PDU, admin and admin. And agent, grid 13C and password. That's it, right? So we need to give the credentials of each hardware components. Those will be stored here. And see, and remaining credentials, InfiniBand switch. In the above screenshot, there is no InfiniBand because I cannot take the screenshot, and below I covered it. So these are the 5 components. These are the 5 components. One is, even agent itself has a username, password, and PDU, and Ethernet switch, and storage server, and InfiniBand switch. So 3 switches and 2 servers are being monitored using the credentials, and credentials are required, not set. So please set all the credentials. This is the meaning of this. Please set all the credentials. Now set the credentials for DB node OEM agents. Okay. Set the OEM agent credential. What is the OEM agent username? I told you, right? OEM agent using grid agent 13C we created. So here, first one, just create agent URL. Give username and password and test connection. Okay. Authentication succeeded. You need to make sure all authentications are succeeded for all components. For all components. And then see, once you give okay, authentication succeeded, it will credentials will become like this. Grid agent 13C and the password is stars. And the password is, let's see, grid agent 13C. I think you're able to see the screen, right? It's very small, but I cannot do anything. You have to closely monitor the screen. Grid agent 13C. Agent's credentials. Then compute node server ILOM. Here also, once we set here, it will be populated here like this. And storage servers. What are the storage servers credentials? Root and welcome one. And a test connection. Authentication succeeded. Authentication succeeded. Okay. So like this, all credential cell nodes is done. And storage server root and welcome one. These are stored here. If not stored here in the credentials field, you will get a required set, but you already set it here. And InfiniBand switch required not set. Please set it them. What are the InfiniBand switch credentials? NM2 user. NM2 user is the username, and the password is welcome one. Set that. Okay, sorry. Password is change me. NM2 user and change me. Set it. And SNMP credentials, some dummy username you can give SNMP. It can take anything for the first time, SNMP user or whatever. Okay. And test connection is authentication is succeeded. So you are just setting up all credentials. If you confuse how to give credentials, Oracle can help you. But what are the prerequisites? You need to have the username and passwords handy. This is my first step I told you here. If you have the proper username and password and you don't have any issue, you don't have any issue, right? And InfiniBand compute nodes also you can give. So InfiniBand you have given compute node also you can give, like compute nodes. Just set the root and welcome one for compute nodes. Actually, I have taken multiple screenshot and put it on one screenshot. Okay. Later you can observe this. All alarms will have root and welcome one and test connection authentication succeeded. Okay. So if you observe this, see agent URL credential set here and storage server root welcome one set here. And for compute nodes are being monitored using ILAM with root and welcome one set here, right? And InfiniBand, earlier we said the InfiniBand also. Now what left? PDU left. Okay, so go down. So after credentials, it will show like this: compute node server ILAM root, because you are setting the credentials to monitor. And PDU is username is admin and password is admin, and SNMP user is admin. Okay, so credential Ethernet switch admin and admin. Okay, switch name is this one, Exa 3 switch -ADM. Actually, this machine, why I'm showing the host name, this I already decommed. Okay, this is a very old machine, X4 machine. I already decommed. That's why I'm keeping the machine name in this here. Okay, and review. Finally, see, we are here. We almost came to the last point. We almost came to the last point, credentials. So review everything and then just submit. Once you submit and you can see what happens. Okay, so you review everything like a compute node servers and system targets. The rack name is Exa 03 rack. Okay, and review everything, PDU. Okay, monitoring agents, Ethernet switches, InfiniBand switches. Review all the host names once again, and finally you click submit. When you click submit, finally what happens? Promotion targets in progress. If you see here, when you submit, promoting targets in progress. Okay, so guys, what we have done so far, we just gave credentials at high level. We selected we selected first database nodes agent, and with that agent's help through InfiniBand discovery, we discovered all other hardware components and have given the credentials and we submitted. Now the promoting targets is in progress. Okay, so once promotion is completed, it will come like this: target promotion completed. Target promotion completes the information. Target promotion succeeded, and system target. Target name is, this is the machine name. Target type is Oracle Exadata database mission. What is database mission means? I already told you. Database mission means it is the combination of 5 components, hardware components: DB nodes, cell nodes, and the remaining 3 switches, rack and compute nodes. And if you go down, it will show you what are all others. It's a single screen actually, but I took 2 screenshots because I can't take a full screenshot. Until Ethernet switch, everything is promoted. Now, at last, it will give you to launch the DB machine. Okay, there is a below screenshot I will show you. Here, at last, it will show you. You see this in the screenshot. Launch DB machine. Launch DB machine. Once you give the credentials and you submit, promotion is in progress and the target promotion succeeded. Now, launch DB mission home. Launch DB mission home. When you click this DB mission home, you will see like this. You will see this picture will come. This page will display. Means, yeah, there are some issues with PDU when I was doing this, but don't worry. But if you give correct credentials, it will give the mission like this, and it will show these guys are up. See, IBB, ADM, IBA, and ILOMS DB servers here, and below cell server. After some time, remaining two servers also came after matrix collection. Okay, so bottoms are cell servers. Bottom, if you see cell servers, only one cell server listed, but later on remaining two also came here. These two are DB servers. Okay, these two are DB servers. DB servers and cell servers bottom. Three came here, and here switches. Three switches. 3 plus DB servers, cell servers, and three switches. Total five components came, and PDU. This is the one PDU, left PDU, and this is a right PDU. This is a right PDU. Okay. So you got, and you can see the up arrow mark also. If it is down, down, but it actually not down. Later, I troubleshooted it. See, I have written like this. We can troubleshoot this later. I troubleshooted and it worked fine. I connected to the PDU and changed the credentials. I still remember I changed the credential of PDU and then it shown up. Okay, somehow that password is not working. The password I gave in the earlier screenshots was not working. That's why PDU was showing down. So later I got one document, Oracle document, to change the PDU username and password. And this PDU can be accessible using web URL. Okay. So either you need to go directly to the data center and connect a cable to the PDU or web URL. That's it. Okay. CLI is not possible. So I changed the username and password using web URL and then it was up. And finally, if you change this no schematic, if you select this, you know, like if you select schematic and photorealistic, if you select photorealistic, second option, it will come like this, side by side. Like, see, photorealistic. Photorealistic, if you select, then this is the front side and this is back side, rear side. Okay. So photorealistic. So it will show the components wise like this. Like, like you will see the real-time feel. Real-time feel. So this is how we promote Exadata DB mission. So what next after Exadata DB mission's promotion? Now we have to promote cluster component. Each cluster will have a cluster component, right? Only post which only we can promote DB server, DB databases. Then we will be able to discover cluster databases. Without promoting cluster component, you cannot promote cluster databases, guys. So you need to promote cluster component first. Every cluster has a cluster name, right? That will be discovered the way we promoted in the first screen database machine. You will promote cluster component also. Oracle cluster, select the class, discover the cluster name, and you promote it. Okay. So again, okay, yeah, this is how we will promote the database machine. Now I'm coming to one question again. Can we skip all this and directly cannot we promote cluster directly? After deploying agent, directly we can promote cluster component? Yes. And promote databases? Yes. Then you can see only databases up and running or not. That's it. And you can see long running queries, everything you can see going to the databases. But this machine will not come. And you cannot see all these components. If you want this to come in the agent, on top of the agent, you need to inject the plugins. Okay. After the plugin, you need to promote the machine like this. Promote the machine like this. So this is Exadata DB mission promotion. Very very simple. Prerequisites is you need to have the username passwords handy and you need to have database machine.xml in one command folder. One command folder in the DB mission because it has all the hardware component details. Based on that hardware components, going further, we need to set the credentials and we need to promote the mission. Okay. So I'll stop today and the next class is under monitoring section ASR promotion. Next class is ASR. So monitoring is, I told you, monitoring and control. It is through OEM and other guy also there to monitor this Exadata. Exadata is not at all alone. Exadata has OEM monitoring. It has ASR monitoring also. So how to do that ASR monitoring, I will tell you. If you see this here, observe here carefully, be with me. OEM can monitor Exadata that we have seen now to be monitored, this Exadata to be monitored by OEM. This is a OEM, other server. What we have to do? We have to first install agent in the DB server, secret service agent sent by Pentagon. This is a Pentagon. This is a DB server. Send the secret service agents, push the secret service agents from OMS to the DB servers. Next, push the plugins, Exadata plugins to the secret server agents. Insert a chip in the secret server agent's body, Exadata plugin. And third one is discover and promote the Exadata DB mission using credential. Give all the credentials and promote Exadata DB mission. Then all your mission will be now under control of monitoring and control of OEM13C. And there is other monitoring also done by this SMTP server. Okay, this SMTP server is nothing but your ASR server. Okay, so this ASR server, how it will monitor, I will tell you in the next class. ASR implementation. ASR implementation is the next class. I will update you in the WhatsApp group once I am free. Okay, so yeah, thank you very much. I'll stop today and we'll meet in the next class.